Hello. I'd like to show you how I make fresh cheese. It's so easy that anyone can do it. And if you've never tried it before, I think you might be surprised at just how easy it is. I just use some raw milk that I buy at the local Foxborough farm called Oaknoll A. Shires. And it is also known as Lawton's Farm. And so you take a half gallon of the milk, and you take a nice clean pot, make sure it's clean, and you just dump the milk in. And then you put it on the stove burner and turn it on very low. And you don't really want to heat the milk. You just want to warm it up a little warmer than room temperature. I would say maybe 80, 90 degrees, definitely less than 100. Just so it's warm to the touch, and you can taste it as you go along. Once it's warm, turn the heat off. And I use this organic rennet. And I bought this online at cheesemaking.com, which is in Massachusetts, as I am and as the milk producer is. And it's called R9 Organic Vegetable Rennet. And all it takes is a half of a teaspoon of this stuff. Once the milk is warm, I'm just going to take a teaspoon and put a few drops. Probably half a dozen drops or so, and that's going to be half a teaspoon. And once we have that done, we mix it in and stir around, and I come back maybe 10 minutes later and stir it around again. And that's all it takes. Give it a couple of hours, maybe even 3 or 4 hours, and the milk will basically turn to jello. And so you'll have milk jello. And once you do that, then I take my trusty colander, and I'm going to wash that again. I have a couple of cheese forms. You can buy these at probably most baking accessory stores. And of course, cheesecloth. So once I get all this stuff washed out nicely, I will put the cheesecloth in the colander. And once the milk is warm and I check it, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it into a big pot, which I put in the sink, and then I will put the colander on top of it, and I picked that one because it's a nice size, it fits perfect. And again, all this stuff really needs to be as clean as possible. And once you put it in place, then once it's turned to jello, as I say, give it a stir with the spoon, and then dump it in here. And once you have the cheese in here, and I'll try to film this later as well, show you what that looks like, then you just take the milk that you've poured out and let it drain down through the colander into the pot. And I saved that stuff. I actually added in with my dog food, and they love it. And whatever stays in the cheesecloth, I then take this and get a plate, put them on the plate, and I just manually scoop out with my hand, sometimes with a spoon, and I fill the forms. I let them drain as good as possible. You don't want to over drain them, because then the cheese will be too compacted and too hard. Not too hard. It's not as solid and as dried up as most of the cheese you buy in a store. But you want your fresh cheese to be really luscious and moist. And then, of course, I toss them in the refrigerator. You can eat it right away. I prefer mine cold. And it also helps to have fresh bread. And it's a great eating experience. Basically, you are eating milk. I hope that all made sense. I'll try to add a little clip of the actual milk going into the colander and then going into the forms. But hopefully you got the idea, and I hope you try this at home, because it's very rewarding. The total amount of time it takes to put the milk on, warm it up, and then, of course, you got to let it sit for 2 or 3 hours, but during that time, you're not actually working. So the total work time is probably between 5 and 10 minutes. And it's great eating, it's very healthy, and it's just delicious. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will try this on your own.